And McNeil into center field, a base hit. Perkins throw to the plate on a hop. Yeah. The tag! He is out! Ball game over! Blake Perkins loads up the rifle. Ninth.
And there he is, Blake Perkins, like you heard there, loading up the rifle on FanDuel Sports Network to end the game last night against the New York Mets. Just what a toss by Blake Perkins. I was absolutely flabbergasted when I saw that. William Contreras just absolutely fired up after the play. Just electric. Awesome game. A lot of fun. Bryce Trang has a 2-run home run in this one as well. I was a little nervous when we first started. Juan Soto has that solo home run early on. But you know what? We never let doubt seep in with this Milwaukee Brewers team, as I've learned with that Chicago Cubs series last time when they started down 3-0 and came back all the way. It is Wisconsin Sports Weekend live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I'm Charlie Uczen. That's Jack Pembroke over there. And also joining us now is my guy Tommy Wortz, host of the Lead Off Show. Tommy, how you doing today, my man?
I'm very good this morning. How are you guys doing, gentlemen?
Doing all right.
Good to have you in the studio.
Good.
So, as I just said, Tommy is the host of the Lead Off Show. You can hear the Lead Off Show here on The Fan tonight at 5 p.m., where Tommy's going to break down everything that happened in this game today for you, go through the lineups for tonight, let you hear from the manager, let you hear from our guy Andrew Wagner, go over to the Potawatomi Sportsbook, build a lineup. It's a lot of fun with our guy Tommy Wortz here on the Lead Off Show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, tonight at 5 p.m. So in this game last night, you get a guy like Blake Perkins having a phenomenal throw like this. He's been on a tear offensively for a little bit of a time now since he's come back from the injured list. I mean, how excited are you about a guy like Blake Perkins being added into this lineup?
Oh, I think that yesterday, the first text message I sent after that throw was, all right, well, it was nice knowing you, Garrett Mitchell, right? I mean, Garrett Mitchell's done now. Blake Perkins has been phenomenal since coming back here with the Brewers. During this stretch now, Blake Perkins, he's batting .276 over the time. He had 3 homers over the road trip. And you know what he does in the outfield is really, maybe it's the best on the team. He might be the best defensive player in general, and he's probably the best defensive outfielder. And that throw yesterday, I still think that the best part of it is Bill, our guy Bill Contreras, just absolutely deking it out. And Pat Murphy brought it up in postgame, too, when he had his kids up there. He's like, did you guys see what William did after that? So I think that was really a big part of the play. And it just seems like the Brewers have this happen all the time, where it's a defensive play to end the game. You know, you look back, it was the Reds series last year when Blake Perkins made the same throw to get Stuart Fairchild out at the plate. And then I remember when I was working for the Brewers, opening day 2019, Lorenzo Cain robbing the home run to clinch the game. Carlos Gomez robbing Joey Votto the home run to clinch the game. So they end the game on a defensive play a lot, it feels like, at the plate or robbing a home run, whatever one you want to go with.
In the last 40 years, this is courtesy of Opta Stats. Only one MLB player has had a direct outfield assist, no relay, to cut down the potential tying run at the plate and end the game on 2 separate occasions. That one player is Brewers' Blake Perkins. June 16 last year versus the Reds, the one you were talking about before, and then last night versus the Mets. I mean, I think people forget that Blake Perkins was a Gold Glover last year just because he wasn't playing the first half of the season this year. And I know that it's hard to kind of push a player like that out a little bit when a guy like Isaac Collins is playing as well as he is, because Hal Frelick has kind of this breakout season for him this year. It's really easy to kind of move on from a guy like Blake Perkins until he gets added back into this lineup. Now, not only is the outfield getting stronger with the addition of a Blake Perkins, but the rotation is getting stronger. The bullpen is getting stronger. We're getting guys like Robert Gasser back. We're getting players like Shelby Miller, who the Brewers traded for from Arizona at the trade deadline. He's now on the MLB roster here. Rob Zastryzny. I keep saying Zastryzny.
Zastryzny.
I've been trying to practice it. Zastryzny, he's coming back into the rotation or the bullpen here. You're getting a lot of names coming back into this Brewers clubhouse, which also worries me a little bit when we come to the playoffs, because I think there's a lot of big decisions that need to be made about the lineup, about the starting rotation, about the relief pitchers in this with this team, especially if you're going to be the 1 seed. If you're going to have one of the best shots to go and make a World Series run, you need to make the right choices, which is why we are asking you out of the outfield, the starting pitchers, the relief pitchers, which of those players are going to be on the playoff roster when it comes around? Guys like Blake Perkins are going to be battling with guys like Isaac Collins, guys like some of these other players that are going to be getting the run in the outfield. A guy like Jake Bauers, because an Andrew Vaughn has been so hot, is he going to be on a playoff roster? Because Rhys Hoskins is going to come back healthy here. It's a lot of big questions. You can hit us up at the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line 414-677-1250. Again, that's 414-677-1250, 1250. Here on Wisconsin Sports Weekend. You can also hit us up on Facebook and Twitter at The Fan Milwaukee, on Instagram at The Fan Milwaukee, and on YouTube. We are live streaming on there. Our guy Q is our third co-host on this show all the time, always chatting with us in the chat. You can be like Q. Talk with us on YouTube. We'll respond to you on there. Jack, I want to start with you over on that side of things. With this rotation, we've talked about it a lot throughout this past week on Thunder at the Fair, on Wisconsin Sports Daily. If the Brewers have to play in this first round, who are your three starters that you would have at the top of that rotation there? You got Brandon Woodruff, who's pitched really well. He pitched another great game last night. You have Quinn Priester, who's been phenomenal this season, way exceeded expectations. You've had the Jacob Mizorowski, who isn't pitching right now, but once it comes playoff time, once it comes that end of August, he could potentially be back in this rotation. Who are your top three guys?
I feel like you just named them, but I do really like Quinn Priester just because of the storyline. I think it's perfect timing for there to be an injury for Miz. You get to rest him, and you get to bring the unicorn back for the playoff run. I think Woodruff is just dealing right now, and we just have so many horses in the barn. You really can't go wrong with any amalgamation of those three or other guys that you'd argue, maybe you don't have Miz on that list. I don't know. Who would you add to those three, Tommy?
I think that right now, I tweeted it out yesterday, and I said, all hypothetical, of course, but Brandon Woodruff, I think, is starting game one at this rate because he goes 7 innings yesterday. Woodruff threw 2 more innings and 20 less pitches than Freddie Peralta in his last outing. Brandon Woodruff has 5 of his 6 starts being quality starts. The team's undefeated in all 6 of those games right now. It's hard to argue with what he does, and a lot of people pointing to Andrew Vaughn coming up on July 7th. Well, Woody pitched July 6th. It's literally the same exact time frame of when Brandon Woodruff comes back as well, to where this team has been on an absolute tear the last month, and when Andrew Vaughn came on to the team and was able to do that. I do think that I would say Quinn Priester is guaranteed to be in that 3-game rotation, but I don't know if I guarantee him to start game 2, but I like him to start more than Freddie to start a game, right? Yeah. I that's where it is right now. But I do think that some sort of probably Brandon Woodruff game 1, Freddie and Miz go game 2, Priester gets game 3. That's where my initial thought goes. Now, I think it probably benefits more to have that not be the rotation because Miz coming in after a guy like Woodruff, who Woodruff throwing 93 and then Miz throwing 103, really I think could mess a lot of things up. But I just think that Freddie is the guy that, he's been phenomenal all season. He was an all-star for a reason. He was really the Brewers' only all-star until it came down to it. And I think that he's earned at least some sort of role in the postseason, and it's not going to be Jose Quintana, right? So that feels like that's a guy who's going to miss out on this playoff roster even just because of the situation the Brewers are going through. You bring up all these arms that are set to come back for Milwaukee. Shelby Miller is going to make this playoff roster. That seems like that's all apparent. Rob Zastryzny is a lefty, and the Brewers are in pretty big need for a lefty in that bullpen too. I think he's going to make this playoff roster. I think they're a little concerned about bringing Jose Quintana out of the bullpen, and I don't know where his role would fit. I do think, though, you could go to a 4-man rotation in the postseason, and as of right now, the Brewers aren't playing in a 3-game rotation. They're playing in a best of 5. Is it best of 5 in NLDS too still, right?
I believe so, yeah.
So it's a 7-game series for NLCS. It's a 7-game series for the World Series. I think the NLDS is a best of 5, and the wild card's a best of 3, right?
Yep.
I wouldn't hate bringing Jose Quintana on to the playoff roster because having one lefty to start a game seems like it could be a benefit.
Yeah,
but if the
that's
Brewers want to do that, like it feels like they could have an opener with D.L. Hall or Aaron Ashby as well at the same time. Plus, they have the flexibility to come out of the bullpen.
Definitely. And I think with Jose Quintana, my biggest question is if you're going to keep him, or if you're not going to keep him off the play, or if you're going to keep him off the playoff roster, what was the point of signing him at all this season? If I'm being completely honest.
Sure.
He was signed to be that playoff guy, wasn't he? He was the experience, that guy that's been deeper into playoff runs with multiple teams at this point. He's a guy that constantly performs in the playoffs. And I think the other thing is that he is such a veteran and has become a leader in that clubhouse. We've talked about it, the relationship that he has with Jacob Mizorowski to this point. And I think that, yes, it's not going to hurt Miz that much if you have to keep Quintana off the roster. That's not going to be that big of a deal. I'm sure they can still text and FaceTime each other. I'm sure Quintana can still come hang out in the clubhouse before a game or during a game. That's all fine. At the same time, though, this is a player that I think you add to your roster at the beginning of the season with hopes that he's helping you in the postseason.
Yeah.
And he's pitched good enough, actually beyond good enough this season, to the point where I think he's earned that right as well.
I think that what Jose Quintana is proving is that he is very adaptable to his role, right? When he was brought on as a free agent, he was kind of the Brewers' high-profile free agent signing compared, it was him and Tyler Alexander. You guys take your pick on who mattered more at the end of the year now. But Jose Quintana actually is proving why Pat Murphy loves this guy on the team, is that not only is he a veteran, but he's just a veteran that can get you through seasons. He's a guy that's going to eat innings all season. The Brewers are very quick trigger on their bullpen. They like their bullpen. They have a lot of great arms coming out after starters. But Jose Quintana is a guy that, hey, he'll get you through 5 every time he goes out there. He gets you through 6, even in some rough outings, too. Like, he is eating innings throughout a season, and that is the value he brings to this team. I do think there is a chance he can be on the playoff roster. I do. But, we've also seen of any of the guys in the rotation for the Milwaukee Brewers, he is the guy that maybe is the least exciting. I don't even want to say he has the most blow-up potential, because I don't necessarily think that, but right now, the Brewers' 5-man rotation, if Jose Quintana is the number 5, it's the best rotation in baseball. I think that's just clear how it is. And if you don't want to do a 5-man rotation into the postseason, Jose Quintana seems to be the odd man out.
So in the lineup, just quickly over here, on the offensive side of things, you're going to have players that may be a tough decision to make. A guy like Jake Bauers, who last season in the playoffs helped out this team a lot, but also hasn't really been a part of the roster for the past couple of months here. He's kind of been forced out of that because of the arrival of Andrew Vaughn. You're going to get a Rhys Hoskins back. You're going to get some of these other players, Churio coming back. So who are the odd man out in these types of situations as well?
I think Anthony Siegler is the first name that comes to mind, right? I understand he does have a little third base flexibility, but I do think the Brewers would rather have Rhys Hoskins bat as opposed to Anthony Siegler's bat down the stretch. And while I think Siegler might provide a little more value than Andrew Monasterio with a bat, Andrew Monasterio just seems like the most prototypical playoff pinch runner you have ever seen, right?
He's Murphy's favorite.
Yeah, he doesn't necessarily have like very plus speed by any means, but he's a guy that's going to come in when Andrew Vaughn or Rhys Hoskins get on base, right? And Jackson Churio is going to come back, and I think Brandon Lockridge is going to get sent down from that moment then too. So I don't think we're missing out too many other bats from there. Everyone else is on the roster, so I think it's Siegler and Lockridge who end up missing the cut when Churio and Hoskins come back. So, and then on the pitching side of things, I think Rob Z is really the only man that has to make the playoff roster that's not on the team right now currently. And I don't know if that means they want to swap him out with Koenig during that time or who else. Maybe Grant Anderson gets the heave from there. But, Grant Anderson, another guy who's just been lights out for the Brewers this year, who eats a lot of innings, lots of games too. Doesn't have necessarily the flashiest stuff, but I think they would rather have Rob Z as opposed to Grant Anderson as well.
Can't we just send down like Easton McGee again, man? I feel like he's been sent down 100 times.
He got sent down again. We got Toby Myers up here. Tobias Myers is going to start tonight too. But I mean, just this Brewers team is incredible right now, and now they're. I told Andy Herman yesterday that I just want to see the Brewers get 3 runs at the beginning of the game and they don't get to bat the rest of the game. And then let's just see if they win by the end of it. And yesterday, that's kind of what happened, too. They eventually fought back to get those 3 runs. But I am, don't let them start winning games where they don't get more hits than you, because that's going to be a problem down the stretch, and they just keep finding ways to win. It's an extremely exciting summer. Mark Antanasio fooled everyone where it's not just about winning World Series, right? It's about providing a summer of fun and passion and entertainment, and damn, he did it. He did it. He tricked us all. He got it. So now if the World Series does come, that's going to be very, very special too. And, obviously point it back to like the Euchre year right now on top of it. First season without him, and the power of friendship taking over.
You gotta love to see it. He is Tommy Wortz. That's Jack Pembroke on the other side of the glass, and I am Charlie Uczen. This is Wisconsin Sports Weekend, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Tommy, thank you so much for stopping by here today.
Thanks, boys.
Thanks, Tommy.
Of course. When we come back, we are going to head on the green with Mason Crosby and Tommy Wortz with John Morton, founder of AGT Golf Books. A great interview that you will not want to miss. It is Wisconsin Sports Weekend, live from 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We will be right back.